So President Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, just continues to keep stepping in it. Over and over, he has made statements that have been proven to be false and that he has had to walk back publicly. Now, it looks as though he has made another one. Now, what's interesting about this one is he might have actually just revealed possible secret tapes. Oh, this is great. Oh, I love this. Okay. Now, this is according to Newsweek. Giuliani apparently may have just inadvertently revealed that he has listened to conversations between Michael Cohen and Donald Trump discussing building Trump Tower Moscow. So, of course, this is related to the disputed BuzzFeed story. Now, that story, which has not been proven and is being challenged by Robert Mueller's team, basically alleges that Trump ordered Cohen to lie to Congress about the Trump Tower deal. Now, again, through this entire thing, Giuliani has changed his story. He said something that he shouldn't and then had to walk it back because he embarrassed himself. He's a terrible lawyer. But as I said before, he might have actually revealed the existence of so-called tapes. Speaking to the New Yorker, Giuliani was asked what his latest opinion was on the disputed BuzzFeed report. That's where it started. He said, quote, "I guess the BuzzFeed story, I don't remember what it said about Cohen, but it said there was corroboration that the president talked to Cohen and told him to lie about it. I guess it was the Moscow proposal. There are no tapes. There are no texts. There is no corroboration that the president told him to lie." Wait. So now a couple of pieces of the evidence, so-called alleged evidence, that BuzzFeed says they at least looked at and don't have in their possession, which, again, okay, red flag, right? You want to point that out, that's fair, was text messages and emails. They said that they had access to and they read text messages and emails that confirmed that Cohen had been instructed to lie by the president. And this is according to two anonymous law enforcement officials. So again, red flags on that story. We're not sure if it's true. So now here's Giuliani saying, well, I mean, there were tapes, but there weren't tapes. Wait, what? Hold on here. He said, and I'll continue the statement, "I can tell you from the moment I read the story, I knew the story was false because I have been through all the tapes. I have been through all the texts. I have been through all the emails, and I knew none existed." So wait, I have been through the tapes that don't exist. Hold on here. Are there tapes or are there not tapes? What is going on here? My God, Giuliani, could you be any dumber? Now, of course, when you hear that, you're like, wait, who was talking about tapes? I wasn't talking about that. I didn't ask about tapes. And so the reporter said, wait, what tapes have you gone through? Giuliani replied, "I shouldn't have said tapes. They alleged there were texts and emails that corroborated that Cohen was saying the president told him to lie. There were no texts, there were no emails, and the president never told him to lie." Okay, so he walked that back and he said, okay, well, look, there's no tapes. I shouldn't have said tapes. Okay, so there are no tapes, right? Giuliani then clarified and said this, quote, "Well, I have listened to tapes, but none of them concern this." So there are tapes. So is what he's admitting accidentally that there are tapes between Cohen and Trump maybe discussing other matters? Or possibly, like we've seen Giuliani before with his walking back of statements and saying, oh, it turns out we actually did have some evidence that they were doing this, and but Trump wasn't. It was the campaign, but there was the collusion, etc., right? So what? Are there tapes? Did you just admit in Giuliani fashion that there were tapes? I don't know, man. It sounds like there are. So now, of course, he walked this back even later, clarified for the third time, and said, "My comments were hypothetical and do not represent the actual timing or circumstances of any discussions." Look, who knows if he's telling the truth, right? See, but we don't know because of all the misstatements and lies. In fact, later on, I think in like a separate interview, he's like, I really don't want to be known, have it on my tombstone that I lied for Donald Trump. Well, then I have a suggestion for you, Rudy. Stop lying. Just stop lying. If you want to not lie for Trump, you might just want to not be his lawyer anymore. Because really, that's all you're there to do. Is just to lie for Donald Trump. So, hey, you don't want to be known as that guy, then you should probably quit. Now, is he going to do that? Probably not. The money might be too good, but then again, he might also get stiffed. So, we'll see. We'll see. Now, there's one more here. Thing that I want to mention is all the misstatements, right? Now, there are things that he has said before that we later on found out were not true. For example, the timing of the Trump Tower deal. And then I want to basically reference that disastrous interview he had on CNN, where he told Chris Cuomo, quote, I never said there was no collusion between the campaign or people in the campaign. I said the President of the United States. To which Cuomo pointed out, no, you said there was absolutely no collusion from anybody in the campaign, and that includes Donald Trump and everyone else. Where we have specific examples, Don Jr. is one of them, where, yes, there was at least a gigantic attempt of collusion, and so what you said was a lie. And then, of course, the whole Michael Cohen thing with Trump Tower Russia, which ended up actually going further into 2016 than they admitted earlier. So that's another statement that Giuliani had to walk back. So here we go. And of course, in another statement to clarify and clear up his comments, Giuliani said there was no collusion from Trump in any way, shape, or form, and that he had no knowledge of any collusion by any of the thousands of people who worked on the campaign. We have yet to be seen. That is yet to be seen on that. Now, in a separate interview, he claimed that if there was collusion, it's not illegal. So, excuse me if I don't buy anything that Rudy Giuliani says, because he's, for one, a really bad liar. He is terrible at this and should probably, for Donald Trump's own sake, resign. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.